Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. The next episode of Red Valkyrie is about to start. Hey, welcome everyone to another episode of Red Valkyrie. I am your host, Shae Zombie, and I am here with the super awesome creator of Niobe Comics. How are you doing, sir?
Well, I just want to tell you that I'm still blown away by your cosplay of Niobe here. You are rocking it, man. Damn.
This is probably one of my funner ones, and it's probably come out the closest to the character, and I'm super stoked about that.
I kind of forgot that you normally cosplay the characters that you're interviewing, and then when we got on off air, and then boom, I saw it's like, oh crap, that's right, this is wicked.
Yeah, this is what we do around Red Valkyrie.
I mean, this is the thing about you and your show is that you really get into it. You'll see a lot of people do interviews, and sometimes they're really into it. Sometimes they're just kind of going through the motions. But with you, right. You take it to the next level, man.
I take it to heart.
Right?
I put things on that I think are good, and you know how many times I brought on somebody and I've gone, shit, I don't know how to cosplay that, and I'm just like, I'm gonna figure it out though. I'm gonna figure something out.
We got some good people in the chat already. Skits Comics. I was on Skits Comics like a week or so ago.
I love them.
Talking with them over there. They were great to me. You have Jason in the chat here, man. And Shae, Skits says Shae always does the best cosplay. Ain't that the truth, right?
I appreciate you, Skits. I do. I'm having them on Wednesday, and I got in a new cosplay material for me to mess with, and so hopefully I can bring it when I have them on. We'll
Let me ask you this. What was the most difficult cosplay you've done to date? For this sort of thing.
Difficult, I'm not so sure, because they all have their own unique challenges. I've had when I had Clint Stoker on for Fatal, that one was pretty brutal, but that's because it fell apart like right as I was about to go on.
Did it?
It did. Look, I did some shoddy cosplay and it did not work in my favor. So that one was pretty rough. Some of the more intricate ones, when I did Grim Reaper 2, all red, that was rough because I didn't know if that was going to wash out the next day and I had to go to work in my uniform.
Oh, okay.
Lugs, Papa's correct. Lug was a pretty challenging one for sure, especially when my eye popped off halfway through the interview.
Would you say that you're a cosplayer in general? Like, do you go to conventions and cosplay and that sort of thing, or?
I desperately want to, but I've never had anyone who wanted to be seen in public with me like this. Like, I just ran out to my car to grab my drink and I ran into my neighbor and all of her family. I was like, hi, I'm getting a drink, don't mind me. And they were just like, isn't she a redhead? Like,
who is this strange girl?
Just running back into my car.
Here's the thing. I think though, things like cosplay and superheroes and the whole sort of geek scene has, it's obviously become very, very mainstream. And to see something like this now, say maybe 10 years ago, the neighbors might have done the double take. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell is going on over there? But now I think it's a little bit more accepted. I mean, I don't know about like where you are in your part of the world, but I mean, here where I live, it's almost part of normal life. Not that everyone's in cosplay, but it's not abnormal now to see a young girl wearing some cosplay or people being out in public with it a little bit more often.
If I go out like this, I'll get looks, but the next question out of someone's mouth will be, do you do cosplay? That's the next thing that they ask, which before it used to be, what is the occasion? Are you for hire for like kids parties? You're like, no, maybe. I don't know how much you pay.
Right? Yeah. What
I can hang out with some kids.
What's the deal? I mean, I've done cosplay. I've done Negan from Walking Dead. I mean, just simple cosplays, right? Yeah. I mean, that was just like a leather jacket, red scarf, and a bat, and I had that in the bag. But I won second place in the contest.
Nice.
Then I did Cyclops from X-Men, like the movie version of Cyclops from X-Men.
Okay.
I got like a Spider-Man costume. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was a time. Yeah, there was a time when I was kind of heavy into it, not like, crafting things, but, I would go to cons and, put on some cosplay and kind of hang around my table and sell books and take some pictures and, And then what's always cool though, speaking of cosplays, like when someone like such as yourself right now would come by and they just, they show up as Niobe and you weren't expecting it. You go, oh damn, man, you know what I mean? And it doesn't happen all the time, but once in a while it does happen, especially here locally, though I had a mother-daughter team. They came as Niobe. That was something, you know what I mean?
Well, so the thing is Niobe is a really, really cool character and really fun to cosplay. And I'm actually like, I have almost her entire outfit just like chilling in my closet. And so I was like, dude, like I own these things.
You got like a cute leather jacket. You got like a skirt, maybe a cute little pair of boots, some gloves, maybe a little face paint. She's not hard. It's not like she wears a superhero costume. I mean, one day we might develop her an actual costume, but it'll be sexy and skin tight.
Of course.
But basically, she's a pop star, and so she dresses like a pop star. She's just a girl, man. That she can have multiple styles, multiple hair colors. It don't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she's gone through different looks. But every time you see her, you can go, okay, yeah, no, that's Niobe. We know who that is. So.
Right. Well, and so speaking of, because you have such great art, and I want to make sure that we have time. So for people who aren't sure, we got a teeny bit of a time crunch because our super awesome guest over here, Mr. Larry, has to go to work.
Yeah. The thing about comics is that for many people, it's kind of a side gig, right? Yeah. And so we all, like, including yourself, like you love to do your show and things like that, but you work in the military, Yep. I work at a hotel and I work graveyard shifts. I'm a night auditor. This is what I really do. Comic books is something I kind of do on the side as a fun or hobby. At least that's how it started. It's becoming more and more of a business as it sort of rolls on. But 6 or 7 years ago, it just started off like 3 guys from small town Canada. Let's put together a comic and sell it at the local shows. That's all it was ever meant to be. Right. So it was a black and white comic. 3 guys put it together. It took us about a year to do it. We sold it at the local show. We divvied up the money 3 ways. I think we each walked away with $200, and that was kind of going to be it.
Yeah.
But then, the question came up, hey, where's the second one? Right.
You're like, oh shit, what did we start?
And the original team that was on the first book had kind of parted ways. One guy went on to a different comic book. The other guy decided he didn't want to do comics. It was too much work. Mm-hmm. So I had to put together, a couple of new guys, right? So I found a French artist who did 2, 3, 4 and the Avani. And then I had RB White, who's done work for, Penthouse Magazine, Heavy Metal Magazine, Zenoscope, things like Grim Fairy Tales and stuff like that. And
I'm just saying.
That's done by Mr. Paul Green, that one right there.
This is my absolute favorite cover. The fact that you put it on a t-shirt, like you're breaking my bank, because I was supposed to, I had one more project I was going to back this month, and that was it. And then somebody's like, we're not going in demand, which we will get to in a second. So you could all be outraged too.
The t-shirt. I mean, I have one here in the flesh. It's they're pretty cool. You know what I mean?
I saw the design on the tier. I have not seen it in the flesh.
Oh man, hold the fort for 1 second.
You go grab that, because that needs to happen. I realize, everyone, we have totally veered from what we normally do, but Niobe is probably one of the neatest looking comics that's just kind of fun, and she's, like you said, she's a J-pop star. Like she's ridiculous and over the top as a standard, and then on top of it she ends up being this like crazy superhero. It's pretty amazing. And so once he gets back
here, I was actually wearing it yesterday, so I have to unfold it because now it needs to go in the wash. But yeah, these are made by PopArtGear.com. They specialize in making independent comic book T-shirts. They do it for like Big Dog Inc., Tom Hutchinson. They do it for Joseph Michael Linzer of Dawn. There's like just a whole list. You go to their site and you'll see like names that you'll recognize, maybe a couple that you don't. But
it's so fucking pretty.
This isn't like a patch or like a heat thing. This is silk weaved right into the material. So it doesn't wash out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So like, you can put this to the wash 100 times and it's going to be just fine,
Dude, that's amazing. I can't wait.
And so, yeah, they came out really nice. So we probably got 12 different shirts. I got the chibi one that you saw earlier.
Yeah. We're about to go through it so everyone can see them for sure. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Before we get too off track, let's go through your pitch. so people
Well,
can
I
see what
mean,
we're talking about.
the pitch is, for those that don't know Niobe, Niobe is a J-pop star with the ability to teleport. Basically, she's called a genome, and what a genome is stands for genetic anomaly. It's basically my world's version of mutants, right? And she discovers through the course of her adventures that her powers are slowly, causing her harm. They're slowly going to kill her. We kind of learned that in issues 1 and 2 from way back in the day, but I'm still kind of continuing with that backstory to her. Turns out that jumping through time and space through portals may not necessarily be great for the body in a system shock sort of way.
You don't say.
Yeah. The body really wasn't made for those sorts of weird leaps and jumps.
Go figure.
So she starts off, but she discovers she's getting these weird nosebleeds, and she gets checked out by a genome specialist, and they're like, well, we really can't tell you what's going on for sure, but we think it has something to do with your powers, and you might want to cut down on using them because you could seriously hurt yourself or maybe potentially kill yourself.
Right.
So that's the general backstory. But Niobe is a good girl with a bad girl look, right? That's the thing. She's like a heart of gold, but she looks like, a character that you would see right out of something from the late 90s, like the bad girl comics of the 90s, whether that be like Witchblade or Evangeline or Darkchild or Dawn or Lady Death, you name it, right?
The super sexy, hyper feminine, hyper kind of
they're
sexual vibe, but like not in a slutty whorish kind of way, just like in a proud woman kind of way.
Well, here's the weird thing. I thought, and I did get some attacks by some feminists, like, oh, you're sexualizing women and blah blah blah. But turns out, when you actually go to the shows and you talk to people that come to the table, it was more women that bought the book. Like girls just like you. You're like, oh, I like the look. This looks cool. Yeah. I want to dress up like this. I want to cosplay as this. I think, and I would get all sorts of those sorts of comments. So it was more women that bought the book at shows than men, and I tell that to people, and they have a hard time believing it until I start showing them photos. Like all the people that come by the table.
This is what got me to go. Like, I went and hit you up and went on your damn website because I wanted this.
Yeah,
and I was like, "How do I get this?" Because I feel like I missed out. And you were like, "Well, I could show you where you can get it." And I was like, "I'm doing it." And then you launched this, and I was like, "Well, I'm doing it again because."
Well, here's the thing with the book that you're holding in your hand. That was a Kickstarter exclusive, right? So the reason why you don't see it on the Indiegogo would be because I made it for Kickstarter. And the reason why it's on the web store is because I had a handful left, right? I'm like, okay, I got a couple extra copies left. I'll put them up for sale on the web store, see if anyone wants them.
Yeah.
And but I could not put it on Indiegogo because that would have done a disservice to the people who have backed it on Kickstarter, right? But with that being said, we got 2 covers that are on Indiegogo that were never on Kickstarter, and they're done by Luigi Terrell. And if you guys know the comic book Rags from Brian Ball and his character Regina, then you know exactly what you're seeing on the screen right now. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So Brian Ball and Luigi have been really awesome to me. For those that don't know, they do a comic book called Rags. It's about a redheaded girl who was in the military, ex-military. I think was dishonorably discharged, Marines, and she's in the zombie apocalypse and she's looking for pants. Yes. Right?
She is never really in pants.
Never really. No, it's
not really. She's got a onesie going.
Does got a onesie, and we kind of see the onesie here in that photo, because this photo is actually a crossover variant cover. So it's got Sailor Rogowski, which is Brian's kind of spin-off book. It's like, what if Sailor Rags was in like in Japan, and she's with this all Japanese scout, like almost like the Sailor Scouts, right?
Yeah.
And so Niobe's in the book as part of the team. Right?
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, you want further adventures of Niobe in an alternate reality with Sailor Rags. It's coming out like September 25th on Patreon.
Oh, wow.
And this cover here, where she's just kind of laying sexy on the bike, that is an Indiegogo exclusive. So that won't be on any Kickstarters or anything like that. I'm going to make, X amount of copies, and then that's going to be that. You know what I mean? And X amount of copies will depend on, how many we actually have to print in order. I'll print a couple extras just to have on hand, and that will be it, This here, that's one of the pages in the book. That's done by a great artist from Brazil named, and I always butcher his name, and I'm sorry, Samir Sameo. He did all the line work, and the colors are done by Dan Overa, who's done work for Action Lab Comics. So he's been on books like Vamp Blade, Zombie Tramp, Puppet Master. He's also done works for Grim Fairy Tales over at the Zenoscope line. So, a couple of names who've been in the industry, definitely helping me out. And again, that cover that you have, that's done by Paul Green, and he's got like a style that's very much reminiscent to, say, like a J. Scott Campbell. So, in fact, a lot of people often confuse his work for J. Scott. What's really cool though, Shae, is I just recently got do you know what CGC is?
Yes.
Right. So they're the grading company. I just recently got a creator's account with CGC, which means I can send them in my own books now and sign them. They'll grade them and put the signature series label on them, and they'll fast track them back to me at a discount. So basically what I'm saying is I'm going to have graded books for sale probably on the next Kickstarter.
That is pretty badass.
And so like cool. Graded books, they'll go for a little bit of a premium, but if no one knows what a graded book is, I got one here. This is graded by PGX. This is like the very first Niobe, and it came back a 9.8. So this is like, in my personal collection. It's not for sale or anything like that. I did have people try and buy it from me, but so it's in a hard case, it's protected. The exact condition of the book. All relevant notes would be up here, like say if it's someone's first appearance or it's something major plot story, all that sort of stuff goes up here, and your book is well protected. So I'm gonna get some of those Paul Greens done. Oh, there's the shirt.
Yes.
Yeah,
I am loving this shirt.
Stretch goals. So we got stretch goals happening. Right now we're on Kickstarter we did about 7,000 Canadian, right, which is probably about 46 cents, US. No, but we did $7,000 Canadian, and that was probably our most successful Kickstarter. We didn't quite hit 5 figures, but we were getting close.
Yeah.
With the Indiegogo, we're asking for a modest 2,200 Canadian. I'm not sure what that is in USD. It's probably like $1,600. Yeah, I'm sure it will say on your end.
It is 1,639. I swear I can do numbers.
Yeah, so that gives us a weird number. On my side, it says 2,200 Canadian. So that shows you just the difference in our dollar. Yeah, I think what it says, we got 84% there right now.
Yeah, so you're less than 300 to your goal.
Yeah, less than 300 to meet goal. And we would love to hit those stretch goals, or at least, bang out a few of them, right? So
absolutely.
Like for instance, one of the stretch goals that's in there is the cosplay photo. So we have these beautiful photos of Emily, who cosplayed Niobe for us back in the day. So everyone will get one of these. We hit the stretch goals. We also have the official, you like trading cards? We have like the official Niobe trading card right here. So you get like a trading card if we get the goals, and on the back it's got like all the basic info you need to kind of get started with the character, So we got that, and then we have the Paul Green postcards.
Yes, that I really, really want.
So we got these as well, and then I just got these in the other day. There's a brand new character that's introduced in that Niobe book that you have. Her name is Ariel, right? She's kind of like the opposition. I don't necessarily know if I would call her the villain, but she's definitely opposing Niobe on a certain social issue that's going down. And people kind of seem to dig here. So we got like buttons. So I just got these in. I'm going to show them to
you. Nice. By the way, for the people that are wondering about that postcard, I actually do have that up on my wall from when I got the Kickstarter version, and it is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, no, they did a good job.
It's like I said, that Paul Green picture is one of my absolute favorites.
So I don't know how well this is going to show up on the camera, but
oh, that's her as the angel. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so this is done by Josh Spencer of Australia, Spencer Tunes. There was a print of this, and then we decided to make them buttons. So this is going to be a stretch goal. This is actually one of the stretch goals in the list. So hopefully I can send everyone out a button like this. I mean, I got 2 bags full. So
nice.
let me tell you something. If we don't hit stretch goal on Indiegogo, I will make these available on the next Kickstarter, because I got 200 of them,
Right. So you're looking at less than 300 for you to hit goal. Your stretch goals start at 2,500, which
that's 2,500 Canadian, right? So that's actually going to be different than what you're going to see there. So I never kind of figured, man, maybe I should list those stretch goals in USD. You know what I mean? But that's actually what happens on my side. So once we hit 2,500 Canadian on my side, which would probably be, I don't know, maybe about in or around the $2,000, 2,100 area USD. You know what I mean? Like I'm just doing quick conversion in my head. Then we can start, everyone will get the trading card, the cosplay photo, the button, the aerial trading card I haven't made yet, and we haven't commissioned anyone for a new print yet because I think it's unlikely we'll hit 10 grand to completely be honest with you. But if the moon, stars, and the sun align, and all of a sudden something just explodes out of nowhere, I will commission an artist that everyone knows to go ahead and do a brand new print. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
I can tell you that Randy Green, who used to do Witch Place, expressed interest in doing a cover for us. I can tell you that Matthew Weldon is currently working on a cover for us for the next Kickstarter. So people know Matthew Weldon. He's often on the Drawn and Quartered shows. He does Punchline. I think he's also working with Doug Ernest on his book. So people, names that you're gonna know, they're gonna pop up. You know what I mean?
Well, so just to let people know that 2,500, since it is Canadian dollars, that is actually 1861 and 76 cents. So 1862.
1862. I'm not sure if
is...
that was a good year or not, but we'll go with it. It's
not bad. So the one that I want the most is obviously that pin, which is 3352. So if we can get this campaign up to $3,352, then we definitely are going to get that badass pin, which I really, really want.
I'm going to get you one anyway. Don't worry about that.
Oh, hey, well, hey, I appreciate that.
I know someone that knows someone. They can hook you up. You know what I mean?
I want other people to be able to get this pin too. So I'm going to need you guys to really come out in force for this, because Niobe is a fun freaking book.
Well, speaking of other people, I'm just like kind of scrolling through your chat here, and I see we still have Skits with us. Jason, we have Papa. Duo. We have, of course, Black Star 13. We've got in a disguise. We have Black Star saying, I cosplay Raven from Teen Titans. She is one of my favorites. And Michonne, of course, and Uhura, obviously. Absolutely. I love me some Michonne, man. I think I got her first appearance in the Walking Dead comic.
Nice.
Jason says, working on a comic was the easiest thing. Promoting it and such is the hardest part. See, I find it kind of opposite. I find like me just getting my grind to the writing is probably the most difficult. Once I get going, it's not so bad. But I love the promotion part. Like I love sharing links and coming on shows and talking about it. I can do this all day. El Gargoyle is here, man. We have 656 Comics. He says, hey, yo. Skits Comics is super nice art. Death Metal Hero says, looking for pants. You have my curiosity now, and you have my attention.
Yeah, that would be Luke.
Death Metal Hero also says, what's up, Niobe creator and Shae? He says that Niobe looks like an OG, but pink. Gamora in pink.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. She's not really modeled after Gamora, but that is kind of funny. If you really want to go through the history of Niobe, she was made when I was 16 years old, role-playing like games like Dungeons and Dragons, and there was a game called Heroes Unlimited, and that's where she was created, tabletop role-playing game. And I would draw her all the time. And like I said, she went through some different looks. I started going to conventions in 2011, found this wonderful place called Artist Alley. And in Artist Alley, what they do is you pay them money and they draw you things. It was like glorious. So I started paying artists money to draw Niobe. Like, what would she look like through the eyes of a professional? Once I started seeing like all these different takes on her, I had to do a comic book. Like I was just, that's it. I'm putting my nose down. It's getting done, Right. And we're several years later, and we're finally just getting to the spot where I'm really proud of it. You know what I mean? Not that I wasn't proud of it before, but we got the right team now. We're in color. I found the perfect printer. We just pulled off a successful Kickstarter, and I got it all out a month early. We weren't late, so basically the cool thing about if you back this book is it's already done, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's already done. All we have to do is go to print and mail them out. There's no waiting on.
Let me just go ahead and say, so not only is it already done, I can tell you right now, paper quality, phenomenal. Color quality, phenomenal. Okay. It is a good, solid book. It seems like it's got a really good amount. I haven't had a chance to read it yet because I just got it a little bit ago and I've been super slammed. But it's got a good amount of pages. All of the everything that's in it is just really, you get some awesome stuff with this book.
I appreciate the kind words. Death Metal here. He says, I used to play Mutants and Masterminds. Yes, I know it well. He says, that's a great origin for a book. And Jason says, I always forget to smash. Never forget to smash, but always smash. He says, the like button. Come on, y'all, get your heads out of the gutter. Right?
Yeah, no, Jason, we all are in the gutter. That's where we live.
You know, speaking of like role-playing games, like what happens is I'll often get people like say, like, how do you come up with an idea for a character? And the secret sauce, honestly, is grab yourself a superhero RPG book, maybe something like this. Like this is called Champions Powers. And in this book is nothing but like powers and how to create powers and ideas and stuff like that. And it's just full of glorious goodness. You know what I mean? And so
Nice.
you can start crafting a character, and then you take that character you make for this game and you say, you know what? I'm just going to turn into a comic book character, and away you go, you know? It's a secret sauce.
So
right,
I want us to go over your perks, and so people have an idea of kind of what sort of awesome stuff they can get.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that.
All right. So your featured perk, well, you don't have a featured perk.
No, you know what? I couldn't figure out how to do that.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to make a perk a featured perk, you know, because I'm not used to Indiegogo. I'm a Kickstarter guy, so I had to kind of throw this together, in a few days, sort of thing. But I mean, if there's a way to make a feature perk in the middle of a campaign, I would love to be able to do that.
We'll talk. There definitely should be. All right, so you have the digital copy for $5 Canadian, which is $4, guys.
$4. Yeah.
$4.
$4. We will just, you get a link in a Dropbox, and you can just download the book and read it on the device of your choice. Basically, this is, for people who want to check out the book, but they don't want to pay, say, shipping costs. Because I am in Canada, I have to ship from Canada, right? It's just the reality of the beast. Mm-hmm. Or, they just want to see it just for the sake of seeing it, or they're international and they're just looking to save some money. Right. So it's really, or they just want to help out, maybe, they just want to throw a couple of bucks, but they don't want to throw too much. They just want to say, you know what? Yeah, I'll give them a hand and I'll just back to digital. I do that with a lot of creators. You know what I mean? Even if I'm not really interested in what they're doing, if they're friends of mine, I'll back them at least digital, just to, here's a few bucks, and so that's what that's for. And that's really great. And the cool thing about digital, and there's always been this online debate about, should, you do digital or don't do digital. I can tell you this, that when we did the Kickstarter a few months back, we sold 53 digital copies. So that should, and that's out of like the 222 backers that we had. So that was almost like, a quarter of the backers saying, we want a digital copy. So digital is definitely a thing. It's definitely real. Some people just prefer it. But if you don't want to do digital and you want that physical copy in your hand, I'm not sure what it is in the US, but
$9.
$9. Okay. So $9, you'll get the hard copy of cover A by Senior Simeo. So it's probably like the least sexy of our covers. So, if you got a wife or, you want to bring something to work and not get in trouble, that might be the cover for you. Plus, I always felt it important that the interior artist who does the book should have their own cover, right? How many times have you bought a comic book and you see this gorgeous cover, right? And then you open it up and then what you see on the inside doesn't quite match what's on the outside. So I wanted to make sure that our main cover was done by the artist who did the book. And if you want one of the more prettier, sexier covers, then you can get those as a variant,
Yep.
So there is that. And then the next perk here, I think, is just the original raw dog, black and white Niobe #1. So some people, I always get like, hey, I want to get Niobe, but I want that first issue. How do I get the first issue, right? So I have some first issues left. We can get those out to you. Keep in mind, it's a little bit different quality than this book. It's a little bit older. It is in black and white, but it is the original deal. Then I think you got the Steph Wilson cover. So Steph Wilson is all over the independent comic book scene right now. Not to be confused, Steph Wilson is not a woman. I thought Steph was a girl for like the first 6 months that I was communicating with him. And I kept calling him she, and he just let it go because he thought it was funny. But no, he's a dude. He's got a style that reminds me of Dan Mendoza. So if you ever seen like Zombie Tramp, so like he's a guy that can throw cute, sexy, and sassy all into the same image and somehow make it work. Like.
Well, and I gotta say, one thing that I find really impressive with this, so it's like a cute little chibi version, right? And everyone's like, oh yeah, chibi. If you look at the bra, he got black lace on this bra. I am so freaking sure. And he got the same on the panties, and he got them exactly where it would be on panties, which is the edge of it. It's not going to be the whole back, because look, guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. It might look sexy. If a woman is wearing all lace back panties, that is purely for you, because those things are so uncomfortable and very much not forgiving.
Yeah, this is what we call Steph Wilson fan service.
Yes, I love
well,
it.
I'll tell you something. He's got a huge following, and we sold a lot of books just because his name was attached to it. So, I mean, people on Twitter may not know Steph Wilson as much as say they would on Facebook, because I find they're kind of two different communities. But check him out, man. He's done a lot of work for a lot of people, and he's one of these up and coming sort of cover artists that you're going to see everywhere. So,
yeah, I like this. I was super torn because I was like, I already have the book, but I also want more covers. So,
well, I mean, we're going to make most of these available when we do number 2 at the end of summer. So we're currently working on number 2. So we got CB Sane doing a cover. I said we got Matt Weldon on a cover. Steph Wilson's coming back. RB White's coming back. We'll have Luigi Terrell from Rags coming back. It's going to be really cool. We're going to have a nice lineup.
That'll be great. So that, by the way, just to let you guys know, for the conversion, that's $11 US.
Yeah, so you get like one of the cool variants for $11. You know, a couple bucks more. This is done by RB White, who's been with us since Niobe number 2. RB White, you know, he's up here in Canada. He's in Ontario. He's actually an animation teacher at a university. So he's done work for Nickelodeon. But like I said, he's also been in Penthouse magazine, Heavy Metal magazine, anything where you might see some sexy imagery.
Yeah.
He's floated around. And
well,
so this is
super heavy metal look. The way that he's done his cover.
Absolutely. You know, he always kind of takes Niobe to new places. You know, he's always pushing me to do risque covers, and I don't really want to do that. But you know, he's definitely not shy about showing a little skin. Let's just put it that way. You know what I mean? But I always kind of have to tone him back a little bit, and keep in mind this is toned back. You know,
that hot damn.
Yeah, okay. I mean, if it was probably up to him, she'd probably be topless. You know what I mean? But
yeah, probably.
This here, though, this is a great cover. Like I said, this came about because me and Brian have been talking, and Niobe appears in his book. And you know, part of the deal was I said, let me Sailor Rags for a cover. You know, let me borrow your artists, and I'll pay them, and we'll do something, and you can use it, and I can use it. And we can promote, and it was done. So there is actually, you know, he's told me that there'll be a reverse of this cover. So it'll be Sailor Rogowski in front and Niobe, you know, keeping 6 on her back, and that will be on one of his projects down the road. So they'll essentially be a set. You know what I mean? Whenever that one comes out. So, you know, keep your eyes out for that. And this one here is exclusive to Indiegogo. Again, done by the same artist. But this is just for you guys. I had this done, like I received this cover just a couple of weeks ago, right before I launched Indiegogo. I waited till this was done. The day after I received this, I hit the live button on Indiegogo.
Nice.
So we really want to print that. We want, you know, I'm going to print them anyway, but I really want to be able to mail that to people. You know what I mean? So the one that you're circling there, that is like the 2-for-1 sort of thing. So if you want the newest book we got, but you want the very first one, well, you know, we'll make that happen. People ask me for like 2, 3, 4. The problem with those is that the files, they don't print well. They didn't have a bleed. So when I bring them to the printer, it's always a big pain in the ass for them to cut the books properly and to print them. It's always a fight. They always mess something up. So they're kind of been discontinued. So Niobe is essentially on a soft reboot. Number 1 wasn't done that way. It was put together by someone else. So that's why number 1 is still available. But 2, 3, and 4, I mean, I got a few handfuls, you know, but they were kind of like works in progress. You know, we were just kind of learning our craft. Now that we know what we're doing, to a certain extent anyway, like I said, we're kind of putting Niobe through a soft reboot. You know, we're kind of, you know, everything that happened has happened, but we're, you know, we're going with a new story arc. You know, I'm doing Niobe in mini series now instead of like an ongoing series. So Birthright is a 2-part mini series. You have this one, and then you'll have the next one in a couple of months, and that will be its own complete thing. And then I'll do a different Niobe mini series, and that will be its own complete thing. And that's how we're going to roll the book out going forward.
So in other words, Birthright is kind of the first mini series of Niobe.
Correct.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
Yeah. And so there's just a quick look at some of the pages. There's that cover. Yeah.
Beautiful cover. So that one's $19 by Luigi Terrell.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
you know, we got to
gorgeous.
ask for a couple of bucks for that one because, you know, obviously the artists, you have to kind of pay them. And we're going to make that limited. We're going to make that special. So, you know, hopefully that'd be like a good book. That'd be a great candidate for grading. You know what I mean? You send that in the CGC. Hopefully you get like a nice 9.8 on that. And, you know, look great on your shelf or a collection, or hell, even do well in the secondary market. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. And then if you want the Luigi Terrell pack.
Yeah, you want both of those covers. Say you're a big Regs fan and you want those covers, man. You can get them both. You know, we give you $5 off for doing that. And hopefully you like what's on the inside and you come back for more, you know? So I think that's a, you know, that should be the featured perk right there. I think that, you know what I mean?
Agree. We will get it set up for you.
Yeah, that should be the feature perk. Then, you know, if you want to dress in style, you want some Niobe, you want to rock, you know, an indie and, you know, cool indie comic book T-shirt. I can't give you the Niobe Paul Green cover, but I can give you the Niobe Paul Green T-shirt. You know what I mean?
I mean, I want to wear her around. She's fucking hot,
right? She is hot, man.
I love that. It's one of my favorites.
And like I said, we got the stretch goals. So most of these stretch goals have already been created. So then, you know, then they won't be hard to fulfill. Like I said, I got the buttons, I got the card, I got the photo. We just really need to honestly kind of commission a brand new print if we ever, you know, got to 10 grand. Like I said, on Indiegogo, you know, not very well known here. You know, this is kind of like a secondary campaign just to give people a second chance to get it if they missed out. Because some people, you know, they'll only shop on Indiegogo. Some people will only shop on Kickstarter. Some people don't even know what these things are, right? So we kind of give everyone a second chance to get it. I mean, if you miss out on this, there'll always still be the web store, but the web store only has what I have in-house, right? So if I have, you know, a few copies in a long box, I'll put them up on the web store. But if I don't have them, they're not going up on the web store. And so that's kind of how I work my web store. If I have them here, I'll put them up. I got blank variants on the web store. So like, you know, if you like going to convention and have an artist draw on blanks, there's some blanks there as well. But we really want to get to 10 grand, whether it's on Indiegogo or the next Kickstarter. You know, we did 7 grand last time. We want to do 10 grand on Kickstarter. It'd be nice to do it on Indiegogo, but I'll be happy, Shae, if we just hit goal. You know what I mean?
Oh, we're gonna make sure you hit goal. That's happening because you're really, really close to goal and you still have a couple of days. So
yeah, we're about like 2 weeks. Oh my god, I love these. You just sent me
yeah, I sent you some screen grabs.
Yeah, these are beautiful. I'm definitely going to be showing these off.
For Jason's question about how many covers, there are 5 covers for this, and you can get all 5 of them for $56. So that's it's like a little over like $10-11 per cover.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But you're going to get the limited edition ones in that as well. And I always throw in like, you know, a couple of extra perks for you. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
You know, I'll put a couple extra goodies in your bag, especially if you're getting like one of the bigger tiers. And the biggest tier would be probably all 5 covers and the T-shirt. That will be available as well. And there's also all 5 covers
number 1
and the original OG gangster right there. Yeah.
Which is $63, or you have for $97 all 5 covers and that sweet ass T-shirt.
Yeah, and the T-shirt. Yeah, the T-shirts, they're not cheap. That's the problem, but they're really nice quality. So,
and I actually kind of agree with Jason talking back about the 5 covers is what I'm assuming Jason is talking about. That would be your featured perk.
Yeah. I mean, either or would be good. You know,
the reason why is because you have such distinct artists on this project and they have such amazing takes on Niobe, and all of them are easily identifiable as Niobe but very different from one another.
They're all different, man. All different styles of artwork.
That is the perk. That is the perk.
Yeah, and somehow they make it all work. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like, it's because when you have a good design with a character, they can be instantly identifiable. You could have anyone draw them. I did a Niobe hand turkey. You could still tell it was Niobe, and that was a damn hand turkey.
I put that up on my Facebook. It was epic. The gobble turkey. It was great.
Yes.
Yeah. And so down there, that just kind of lists like who's all part of the book. And there you just see like a couple of our photos from conventions and stuff like that, just to kind of prove that, we've been around and we've been doing this for a little bit. And then the risk and challenges, there really is no risks and challenges because the book has already been done.
Yep.
We've proven time and time again we can deliver. We'll continue to prove time and time again we deliver, and we deliver on time. I often right, like if you look and it says September, right, as a delivery date, I'll probably have them out long before then. But I always give myself a little wiggle room just to be safe, And I would advise that to all creators, especially just starting out.
Yes.
Don't put your shipping date too soon because life happens, things go wrong. You might have to do a course correction somewhere. And so if you give yourself, my rule of thumb is always give yourself a month or two extra than what you really think it's going to be. And that's probably be what will end up being anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I have a question for our chat because you and I have talked about this.
Sure.
This little chibi version of Niobe on her motorcycle with her butt out and everything. I want that as a patch. Now I want to know what the chat thinks because I got a person who could probably make that a reality. But I want to see some love in the chat for that because I think that'd make an epic Niobe patch for sure.
What I can do is I can actually show you a bigger version of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just going to dig through the old computer files here, my mess that I call a desktop, and locate that. Let's see, Birthright, prints.
So we still have 13 days left. There's plenty of time for us.
I'm going to screen share for you, and I'm going to
absolutely.
So this was actually a print that everyone had gotten in the Kickstarter. Is that not that is done by an Australian artist by the name of Kylie White, and she was like a newcomer on the scene. And Kylie White actually doesn't really do chibis, but she does really sexy imagery, right? And so right now she's working for companies like Big Dog Inc., and they do Penny for Your Soul, they do Critter, they do Ursa Minor, so they do Al Sharad. So some really good stuff. So Kylie Knight helped me out with that one. It's super cute, it's adorable. The red bike was thrown in there because the bike is in the main story. It's just kind of a prop, but we want to kind of give homage to Akira. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the red bike that Akira uses in Akira. And I even have Niobe do like the whole Akira slide when she comes out of the portal in the book. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And she's got her little hand up. I just now saw that. She's doing the whole, yes.
Right?
Oh, that's awesome. All right, so we've got a couple of questions, and I'm going to scroll all the way back because we got one question, kind of a joke. However, we're going to...
You know what? I'll take on anything. It's good. It's good.
Lola wants to know, what is the best way to cook chicken because she needs some new ideas.
I'm just a fan of deep fried chicken. You know what I mean? Like,
there you go, Lola. Go deep fry some chicken.
I mean, God, if I was cooking for you, Lola, I feel bad for you because you probably end up with food poisoning to a certain degree. Like I am not a cook. Here, I'm going to show Shae something that she'll love. Here, let me screen share this one for her. Let's see. How do I stop that? Do this. Boom. There you go, Shae. That's what you want.
Yeah, that is what I want.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
We're going to have a conversation. You have to get me a t-shirt bundle because I'm going to go broke getting all these damn t-shirts.
Well, we'll definitely hook you up. I'm going to show another page from the book just so people can see sort of like what the artwork looks like on the inside. Let's see if I can do this again. Screen share. I'm still getting used to StreamYards. I'm still used to the old Google Hangout. So this is just a page from the book where she's kind of, getting some information that some shit's going down and she's getting involved, and, she opens her portal and the way she goes. This is just kind of like a low res version of it, but it was great lettering by Joe Rodriguez of Metal Ninja Studios, who's now part of Scout Comics. So that's pretty cool. And he did all the sound effects and stuff. He did a really, really nice job on that page. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is a really pretty page.
And so that's what it looks like on the inside. I'm going to give you now a sneak peek into a cover for number 2. I'll give you a sneak
exciting
peek, right? So this is done by CB Sane. This features the new character Ariel, who we introduced in the book. So this will actually be a variant cover for the second issue, Niobe Birthright #2, and all the variant covers will feature this character. So Matt Walden is currently drawing her right now. I just got this in not that long ago, and there's going to be a couple other ones. I can show you. Let's see.
Heavens, that is pretty.
Yeah, no,
now that's a good cosplay.
Could you pull off the feathers? I mean,
it's challenging as shit, but when are you launching to?
Probably at the end of July, early August. Realistically, like
I can't. I don't think I can pull it off in that timeline. Let's see. We're gonna see.
I want to get some, some pages done. I want to make sure that we're well on our way before I launch anything. That's kind of like my advice to creators too, is just make sure that, your stuff is good to go before you launch. You don't want to launch too early and then all of a sudden something goes wrong and you're not able to fulfill, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so don't put yourself in that sort of trap. Make sure that your work is about 75 to 80% done before you even consider launching a book, Here's another one. I'll give you another sneak peek. This is the Steph Wilson variant of Ariel.
Oh, I did see this. I remember you showing me this.
Right. So,
awesome.
Like I said, you said that everyone has sort of like a different art style that they bring to the table. So again, this one here, you might not want to, show to the wife or bring around work, but that's your thing. Now we do have something that's, safe for work. This is actually going to be cover A of the book. And again, like I said, I always like to have the actual artist who's drawn the book do the cover.
Right.
And so this here cover will strike you as more, being your, what you would expect to see on the shelf. You know what I mean? So
nice.
There you have Niobe and Ariel throwing down. So, and this is just, 3 or 4 of the probably 6 or 7 covers now that we're probably going to have for this project. It's
that
insane.
Is crazy.
So that's just a sneak peek of what's coming up. So if you want to jump in on that, you're going to need this first book to kind of get yourself, caught up and be ready for the second one. And, we'll do both campaigns. I always do a Kickstarter now, which is usually our big campaign. That's where we kind of offer more perks and more stuff. And then we'll do like a smaller Indiegogo after we fulfill, right? Like I didn't do Indiegogo until I mailed out that last Kickstarter package. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to be like, running the campaign while fulfilling another one. I want to make sure everything was wrapped up and then we could jump into the Indiegogo campaign, So that's exactly what we've done. And like I said, it's a smaller campaign, but so far so good.
Awesome. Okay. So we have some questions from the chat. Luke wants to know, do you have any plans to try and sell through shops, maybe through Alterna?
I submitted to Peter Samedi a long time ago. This was before we had done the new book. I just gave him the old black and white version. It was turned down at the time.
Okay.
Who knows? I mean, I'm not really looking at Alterna as much as I'm looking at a couple of other companies. Where I'm doing stuff with Matt Walden and Brian Ball and stuff like that. I'm really hoping Antarctic Press will notice me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because Niobe's also on the cover of Punchline 15 that's coming out. That's going to be really cool.
Oh, okay.
Did you see that? You must have seen that online, Shae.
I feel like I have, but I cannot remember.
So, I mean, I really love to be with Antarctic Press, but Caliber Comics, which is a smaller company, but they're in Diamond, they're in shops, has expressed interest in publishing Niobe as well. But the problem with Caliber Comics is that they only publish in trade paperbacks, right? So I have to have like a few more issues done of Niobe before they can actually print and publish it because they already print in trades. But, once I bang out another, 2 or 3 issues, then in theory, Caliber will pick us up and we can put out a trade, and that trade would be available in Preview Magazine and you can order it to your shop. But we'll see what happens. I mean, that's still a little ways off yet.
Yeah, because that's something Luke would like to see over in his local comic book shop he works out, which is badass.
The end game is to get a publisher. That is the end game. I'm going to try my best to find someone to pick us up. But we kind of, like I said, we're on a reboot, so we need a couple issues out to kind of prove ourselves, you know what I mean? And so people that can see the story. Some people don't want to touch us because of the controversial nature of this particular story, because this story does deal with abortion. Okay. There's a woman who's having a baby. It's a genome. She doesn't want to give birth to a mutant. This becomes public knowledge. It's kind of spirals into, you know, we're in the world now where everyone wants to protest everything. So there's a protest going on. Niobe gets involved in this protest. It becomes a mess. You know, the Vatican sends Ariel to come down and, you know, seek out the situation and get involved. And her and Niobe have a difference of opinion. You know, Ariel is very much pro-life. Niobe is very much pro-choice. And the way I handle these social issues is I don't pick a side. I just I present a situation, a story, and an ending, and you guys can read it. And, you know, a good comic book should make you think, but not preach. You know what I mean? And so far, the people that read #1 said I've handled this very well in a classy manner. It doesn't feel like I'm pushing for one side or the other. And they also said it feels like old school X-Men, which was a perfect compliment to me. I love that.
Yeah. The other question, so Jason wanted to know, are you the sole writer and editor, or do you have other jobs with us?
Well, other than the hotel, yeah, no, I'm the writer. I have a girl that edits it, but she doesn't edit the story. She just edits my bad grammar. You know what I mean? So like she'll you know, dot the I's and cross the T's and make sure my spelling is right and everything is legible. You know, she just kind of proofreads it, but I don't have anyone that kind of goes, you should change this or change that. I kind of do it all on my own. Maybe I should have like someone actually edit the book, and, you know, it's always good to have like a second pair of eyes on it. But I mean, I kind of have editors in a way anyway, because I hang out in a lot of like these off-air hangouts, you know, that aren't live streams, but there's like, you know, 8 or 9 guys in there, and they all do comic books, and we all sort of throw around ideas and show each other our work. And, hey, you know, what would you do with this panel? Or, you know, what do you think about this piece of dialogue? And we'll just give each other feedback. You know, like one of those guys is Slick Jimmy. You know, he does the book Little Girl Lethal. And, you know, I've been, you know, in backstage with
I've been looking at.
Right. So, I mean, I talked to James quite a bit, and, you know, his book is a little late, but I know exactly where he's at with the book, and I know it's getting done. And, you know, I have been privileged to see like most of the inside and, you know, everything that's going down with that. So it's kind of cool to network with creators in that way and see what they're doing. And, you know, you just kind of, you know, pull ideas from each other, and, you know, hopefully you prop each other up and motivate.
Right. Another question from Jason is, do you think it's wise to keep your goal and perks at a low cost and hope for a high return?
Well, I mean, when it comes to goals and perks, you want to make sure that whatever you set your goal and perk at is what you need, right? Don't set it too low. Like I've seen a guy, he set it too low. He made it, but he didn't make enough to actually fulfill, right?
Right.
And so, but he just wanted to make sure he met a goal, you know? Set your goal to what you need to print the book and to ship the book. Anything you get after that is bonus and gravy, right? You know, with the last Niobe on the Kickstarter, I made enough to kind of pay myself back for all the money I spent on covers and art, which was great. And still had enough to ship and print the book, and anything that was left over, which wasn't much, by the way. You're not going to get rich by doing this, but hopefully you make enough to break even, and maybe you get a couple of bucks in your pocket.
Right.
But with the extra money we did have, it just gets cycled back into the next book anyway. It's like, okay, well, you know, maybe we have an extra grand left over. We'll put that towards pages, or put that towards a few covers, you know?
Yeah. Getting a jump start on the next book or the next campaign or whatever merch it is that you need to replenish, or if you want new stuff.
100% absolutely on the ball with that. Yeah.
Don't know if you're going to know this. Wasn't Kabuki Caliber Comics at first? I have the first appearance and can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on that, but that sounds familiar. Yeah, awesome. Couldn't tell you for sure. You know, Caliber was very popular back in the 90s, and then they kind of, you know, disappeared for a little bit. But they're still around, you know, they're still doing things. You know, Caliber Comics started off Brian Michael Bendis' career. I mean, whether you like him or not, you know, he became a famous name in the industry as a writer. He got his start at Caliber, you know? Yeah, so I'm glad to see that lots of people are taking an active interest in questions. We love questions. I'm on for a couple more minutes, and then I have to get ready for work. I am going to show Shae this beautiful cover done by Matt Weldon, and show the rest of you guys.
Oh, I remember seeing this. And this is one thing that makes me really, really happy about this one. I'm going to go a little bit bigger. So in here, all the way up at the top, if you look at where the AP is and you go just to the left of it, that's my girl Raven's character, Machi.
Okay, which one is she?
Up at the very top of the screen, just past to the left of the AP.
So
The
right
girl
by
with the pumpkin hair.
Okay, awesome.
That's
So right
Mati.
beside her actually is Booster Kiwi.
Nice.
So the little guy with the beak there,
Oh yeah.
that's Booster's avatar. So Booster Kiwi is one of the hosts of Chester Busby's Fan Speak, and he also does the drawn and quartered fan edition.
Yep.
And so there's that. You have like Pineapple Man in the back. Like I don't know who all these characters are, but I know who some of them are.
Oh yeah,
And
there's a ton all throughout here.
Yeah, there's Scalpel Zero from Tank Ferret Art. There's a Clayman down here, like at the bottom right, or sorry, bottom left. Like there's like a girl with a sword and a dude and another girl. Those are characters from Ben Dunn's Ninja High School, which is like old school Antarctic Press comic book, man. So Ben Dunn is like many people consider Ben Dunn a legend in this business. You know what I mean?
Oh, this is hilarious because it looks like they're fighting over a guy.
They are. I mean, the whole story is that this girl, this Japanese girl, needs to marry him, but this alien girl also needs to marry him. So they're fighting over him. That's what the story is, man. And then over here on the front, you have like Common America from Mr. Tim Lim, right?
Yep.
She's hanging out by the machine. Then you have Versema and Sailor Rags, you know, from Rags and Punchline, obviously playing. You have Operator right beside Sailor Rags, and then right behind them is Niobe.
That's awesome.
Like, you know, and now when Matt Weldon said, yeah, I'll put her on the book, I thought she would be like kind of in the background, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would have been just ecstatic to see her little head and pigtails. I did not expect her to be front and center like this, you know? So that really blew my mind. I can't wait to see this colored. You know, I messaged Matt Weldon. I said, is this like a real cover, or is this just something you're doing for fun? He said, no, this is the real deal. And I said, cool. Is this going to be in comic book shops? He said, yeah, man. I'm like blown away. You know, so I called my local shop. I'm like, you know, Niobe's going to be on Punchline 15. I want to order a few extra copies, and maybe we can come in and I can just hang out, you know what I mean? Promote it or something. So once the COVID scare dies down a little bit more, we're going to, you know, arrange some stuff.
Heck yeah. That is so cool. That is super amazing. And congratulations from being put and featured up there all big. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, no, it makes me really feel like I'm kind of part of the crew. This is why I really want to be with Antarctic Press. I just think that these characters kind of mesh well together. And, you know, we've already started to see that we can do a bit of a crossover with the crossover cover that I've done with Brian, and the fact that Niobe is going to appear in Brian's book, the Sailor Rogowski book. Like, she's a character in the book. I can show you what she kind of looks like as a template in the book. She looks really different than what you're seeing right now. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can just. I wasn't planning on this, so bear with me here for just a second.
No problem. We're all down for the exclusives on Red Valkyrie. We love that.
Right.
I don't say no to those.
So, you know, I'll just give you like an idea what this will look like. I just have to. My computer though, Shae, is a mess, right? I have to kind of like go through it, organize it. Oh, here we go. All right, so. I'm going to pop this one up first because I want to give Brian his just dues here. So the book is called Sailor Rogowski. It's based on Rags, Regina from the book. And so there is that
bow on her flak jacket. I can't. That's ridiculous. A bow on her damn flak jacket.
This art was done by illustrator Monk.
Oh gosh, it's so good.
And I think if I just click next, there's the Niobe.
Oh shit, look at that.
Yeah. So Niobe actually, her very protective armor here turns into like a motorcycle because, you know, she rides the bike, right?
Yeah.
Almost like a Cyclone from Robotech. And she can use like the tires as like portals and weapons and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
And there are other characters in the book as well. There's one called Red Momiji, I think her name is. There's I had like a piece of art that had all of them on it. I just can't find it right now. But there's like at least 5 or 6 different characters, female characters from the indie sphere, if you will, that Brian has recruited and put into the book. So very excited to see how this all turns out. That
is so cool. Well, we are pretty much at our time, and I just wanted to say, you know, it was an absolute pleasure having you on. This was so much fun. And I really hope that we have you on for book 2 as well. And I'm going to see if I can't make those wings. Oh gosh, it'll be fine. I can do it. I believe in myself.
Well, Steph Wilson, he always makes fun of me for having to draw wings. He's like, "Can't you give me a character without feathers?" Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the amount of people that I've had on that are like, "Oh yeah, so I have like a robot character," and I'm like, I can't, but I'm a person. I can't do a robot. So it'll be an interesting challenge, but I'm totally down for it. It's gonna be great.
Sigmate Studio just said hello to me and you. Hello.
Yes. How are you doing, sir?
In order
Alrighty.
to achieve, you must believe. I agree with that, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. See, look at that. Look at you guys. Okay, so thank you so much, Larry, for coming by. This has been so much fun.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for doing such a dynamite job on the cosplay, man.
No problem, man. It's seriously, this was a really fun one to do.
I hope it does wash off the face. I hope you don't go to work.
Yeah. So something that I forgot about until after I put all this pink on is, so I have hyperpigmented eyeshadow, and that's how I do a lot of this stuff when I don't do the other like face paint and all that. The pink is the one that's the hardest to get off. And I just am now realizing it now that I'm like, I'm gonna have to take a shower. And then I went, oh shit. I'm probably gonna have diamonds for a couple of days. It'll be fine. It'll
absolutely be fine. Man. Hail, Lothar. Hail, brother. Hail.
Yes, you guys are awesome. So thank you so much to the chat for coming out. Make sure that you go and back Niobe Birthright. So like Larry had said before, this is basically kind of a soft reboot of the Niobe series now that they've kind of got a better handle of what they want to do. And I'm popping the link in there so you can go and check out all the tiers. There's awesome covers. There's an amazing t-shirt. There is so much that you can back. And this is less than 300 away from funding.
Yeah.
And it still has 13 days left. And I'm telling you right now, we're just over 200 away.
Oh, really? Did we just
get backers? Yep. So you got $232.
Now I'm excited. Now you're gonna make me go look. I gotta go see.
Don't worry, you're about to get another backer too. I just gotta get off of here so I don't dox myself. Not that I've ever done that at all.
Listen, I doxed myself 7 years ago when I did my comic because I put my name right on it and I was doing interviews. I don't worry about being doxed, but we are now. Look at this, 1,888 Canadian dollars, which is probably
nice.
And
Lothar was the one who backed you, so thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, brother, man. Yeah, you're gonna like the book. It won't take long to get these out. Like I said, they'll be out long before September because the day after the Indiegogo is done, I'm just going to put in the order for the books right away. I print through a company called Comics Wellspring. It's actually on the back of the book. If any, one of the questions I get asked is like, who do you print through? Who do you print through?
Right here.
Yeah, right there. Shae's got it in her hand. I got their ad on the back of the book. They give me a nice discount for doing it. But at the same time, it just answers like a bunch of questions. Like, hey, you got the book in your hand. You like the quality. You want to know who made it. Flip around on the back and maybe you can do business with them too. I think they're very fair price and they're very quick and they do what's called a quality check on all the books. So you get them in like stacks of 25. There's a little sticker on them with someone's initials, meaning they went through each book to make sure that it was, good enough to ship out. So
that is awesome. Well, thank you so much to the chat for coming out. Thank you so much to Larry. You guys are absolutely amazing. And Jason, I will post that in the comment or in the description so you can check it out. But it's Comics Wellspring. So I'll get that out to you guys too, so you guys can go through and check it out and see if maybe you want to do some business with them. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming out. As always, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to Red Valkyrie so I can keep on doing these awesome channels and videos and streams that I love doing so much because you guys are the best ever. And thanks again, Larry, for coming out. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. You're a sweetheart and you're the heart and soul of I think of this like YouTube community. There isn't there's a handful of female streamers out there, and like you have like Black Star, you have Mandy Summers, you may like Nerdette, Nerd Wonder. You have a handful of them, but you're always very pleasant, smile on your face, very nice and genuine, and you love this stuff, man. I mean, you
I
love it so
do.
much that you're going to come on as someone's character and, put yourself to do that and go the extra mile. I think that's phenomenal. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And we will absolutely catch all of you guys next time. Do not forget to go back Niobe right now. Let's get it funded before the day is out. And I will check you guys next time. See ya.
Peace.